Henry Lee Lewis was born in Blacksburg, Virginia, in the Appalachian Mountains on August 23, 1936. The loss of both his father's legs in a drunken train accident made his mother the sole source of income in the house. They lived in a two-room log cabin where the entire family shared a single bedroom. Lewis had 8 siblings, 8 in all. 6 of them were fortunate enough to live with a relative early on in their lives, but Lewis and his half-brother were forced to stay with their mother, a vicious and brutal woman who earned a living in prostitution. She moved her lover and her pimp into her house, and the pimp regularly would force her boys to watch her have sex with strangers. The disabled father would give comfort to the boys, although he was put through the same ridicule as the boys. His father had become a bootlegger, but he consumed more than he sold. Lewis was claimed to be an alcoholic by the age of 10 due to his father's bootlegging. His mother had a sadistic nature to dress up Luscious as a girl and sending him to school where he was bullied. Sometimes with curled hair, the teachers tried to help him, but it only made it worse for him when he came to school. Luscious lost his eye due to an accident that happened at school, but his mother wouldn't treat it, so he lost his eye. Lucius' father froze to death in a drunken slumber. The pimp became the new father. He introduced him to brutal animal torture. Lewis also engaged in sexual activity with his half-brother and became obsessed with sex and torture. He also got in a lot of trouble when he was younger. He went to Young Officers Institution because he was a troublemaker, and he did sexual activities with other inmates. His first victim was a 15-year-old girl. She refused to have sex with him. He strangled her and dumped her body. He got caught for burglary and was sent to jail. After his release, he moved to Michigan to live with his half-sister. He met a girl, and he proposed to her the same year he was released from jail. She said yes, but a violent argument broke out, and she broke off the engagement. His mother wanted her to return home, but he kept on refusing. He had a violent conversation with his mother, and he ended up killing her. A number of heated conversations climaxed into a violent argument where he ended up killing her. He pleaded self-defense and claimed that he had killed his mother deliberately and raped her post-mortem, although he resented his confession. He pleaded guilty, and he was sentenced to 20 to 40 years in prison, although he only spent 10. He tried to kill himself while he was in jail too. Next year, he went back to jail for kidnapping 2 teenage girls. He was sentenced for 4 years and served all of them. He married a widow that same year, but she divorced him because he slept or accused of sleeping with her daughter that was 18 years old. In 1978, he became gay with his boyfriend. He moved around with his family in Jacksonville, but had an affair with his niece. Oh, and she wasn't in her teens either. With his boyfriend, they did crimes by holding up stores and convenience stores to make money. He also began a murder spree of epic proportions. His boyfriend's mother died, so they were forced to live on the street. Luscious claims criminal acts extend from necrophilia, cannibalism, eating people, baby kidnapping rings. No idea what that is. Even satanic cults. The Lucius Task Force was set up in 1984. What is clear that Lucius had a tremendous sense of power. As police force tried to clear unsolved cases, Lucius spent a great deal of time traveling the country, during which time he was treated extremely well, granted unheard of freedom from a convicted murderer, which eventually he confessed to 3,000 murders. More than 200 confessions were closed due to his confessions. Lucius was eventually charged with 11 homicides. He died